Looking for a job is a full-time job, but let me add this extra twist. Looking for a job adds a dimension of emotional stress and sometimes depression that's not normal in your everyday life. Hello everybody, I'm John Self, and welcome to Self Perspective, a weekly video with information and insight to help you manage your career. I don't know about you, but I know a lot of people who have done a great job with their careers. They've worked hard. They've built sustainable working relationships with people. They've really performed in a stellar manner. And they've leveraged that to provide job security. I also know a lot of people who started with a company as a junior manager and went wire to wire with their careers. They started as a junior manager and ended up as a senior executive, sometimes as the CEO. Now that group is small, and the group of Category A employees, those people that really did exceptionally well, who built those relationships, who combined the stellar performance and leveraged that into job security, well, they're finding that the rules have changed, and they too now are falling victim to industry consolidation and business model transformation. Some of the people are in their 50s, approaching 60. And for those people to go into the job market, to do a search because they're not ready to retire or they can't afford to retire, that adds a dimension of exceptional stress, exceptional strain. Now, there is age discrimination, and the senior people know that, and that just adds to the problem. In my podcast on Wednesday, I talked about a WebMD article that talked about the fact that being unemployed is actually hazardous to your health. Citing some research, the article quoted Patrick Leahy, a psychologist at Weill Cornell New York Presbyterian Hospital, as saying that it increases blood pressure, it increases their anxiety level, it increases the chance for stroke, heart attack, and even death. One study that WebMD magazine quoted reported on a study that said that even worrying about unemployment or the threat of unemployment raises cholesterol levels. Look, I know that looking for a job is tough. As a recruiter, as a consultant, I have to look for work every day. I'm like many of you who are in the job market. If I don't find work, I don't pay the bills. So when I tell you, if you're one of my outplacement clients, that I appreciate how tough that is emotionally, psychologically, believe me, I understand that. You can't take time in a job search because you're gonna have days that you absolutely are so discouraged you don't know what to do. And you get rejected 3 or 4 times, and that leads to enormous despair. But you can't run to the golf course, or you can't run to do something else to avoid rejection. You have to tough it through. And so that requires a strong sense of energy. It requires a strong sense of commitment and enthusiasm. So now we're going to talk about an issue that is rarely discussed when people enter the job market and are working with transition coaches like myself. And that is that there is a psychological factor that you must deal with. Recently, I've heard from several of my clients who said, "Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for lifting me up. Thank you for dusting me off." But that's part of our job because most people really don't fully appreciate the psychological negative factors of being unemployed. To be a successful candidate, you've got to have energy and you've got to look good because this is a hyper-competitive market. So I'm going to talk to you about another dimension of the transition picture and another dimension of things that you need to be aware of if you're in the job market. First of all, you need to think about a healthy diet. You need to eat the right kinds of foods. You need to exercise to maintain your level of energy. So what am I saying? Well, if the phrase on the menu begins with chicken fried and ends with cream gravy and biscuits, You want to avoid that at all cost. You need to eat sensibly and smartly. I see people coming into interviews and they suffer from what we know as stress weight gain. Their suits don't fit, their shirts don't fit, the collars don't quite come together. With women, sometimes you can tell that the dresses don't quite fit because they've been stressed, and some people, when they are stressed, they eat. So it's important to maintain a good diet, to have a rigorous exercise program. You have to have energy. You have to have an uplifted attitude. You have to be able to have the courage and the energy to power through this. Somewhere out there, there's somebody today that's looking for the skills and talents for what you have to offer. And to get to that point, it takes a lot of energy and a lot of uplifted thought. So take good care of yourself. Eat a sensible diet and get plenty of exercise. That's as important to finding a new job as having a good resume. I hope this information's been helpful. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me at AskTheRecruiter@johngself.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.